It's nice to finally meet you. We had a chance
Same
to talk
here.
a lot during the buying process of the machine. And so, one of the things that I wanted to do this call and this meeting with you is because there are a lot of people like myself who love pickleball. And then we go online and we try to find out, if we want to improve our games, what machines should we invest in order to help our pickleball games. And the prices range. And now everything is pretty much done through the mail. So you don't want to be wrong when you buy a machine. And so my question for you is, I stumbled upon your website through Google search and I saw it and I thought it was a really interesting approach of how you took to it. But why did you create the Simon Pickleball Machines?
At about 8 years ago, when I really started playing a lot of pickleball, I looked around and I noticed there really wasn't a pickleball throwing machine. And my background as a tennis teaching pro, obviously I used tennis ball machines quite often. So I thought, hey, the industry's young. Here's an opportunity to maybe get in and create something that needs to be created. So it took over a year to develop the first Simon machine, which is now Simon 2. And it wasn't easy, mainly because you're dealing with a wiffle ball with holes in it. And it creates a lot of problems. A tennis ball is smooth, you've got felt, and it's consistent. The pickleball machine tends to be, the ball comes out, very randomly, which I guess is not a bad thing, But anyway, so that was my reason. I saw an opening to come up with a product that could help people, and I was looking to get into the pickleball business.
You mentioned that you've had a background in tennis teaching and you also play pickleball. So for our audience that doesn't know Mike Schwartz, can you just give them a little bit of background of how you found pickleball?
Sure. Well, I went to Northern Kentucky University, which is right outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, and I went there on a tennis scholarship. So I played tennis there. And when I graduated, I opened up a tennis shop. I opened up a retail store, and I also started to run a facility and give lessons. So, that was during the tennis boom, and everybody was either interested in playing tennis or thinking about it.
And how long have you been playing pickleball?
I'd say off and on 10 years, but the first 8 years, just like once or twice a month, just kind of dabbling in it. The game offers so much. It's just a wonderful sport for so many genders, and a parent can play with his children and his grandchildren. It's a unique sport for sure.
And you play competitively, right? So at what level are you playing right now?
Well, I've played in two 5-0 tournaments. Those were the last two tournaments I played in. But, 5-0 in my age group for sure, which is, 65 and over. But there's no way that, now all these young players are coming in that are legitimate 5-0s that are just hitting the ball so hard. The game has really changed the last 2 to 3 years. It used to be soft shots trumped everything, and it still does a little bit, but you've got people just banging the ball with a lot of topspin. And, I've recently, over the last 6 months, have changed my game. I decided, all right, I've got to start joining these guys. So I'm starting to hit out more too, looking for that magic paddle that'll help me swing as hard as I want and keep the ball in play, I'd be remiss in saying that the people that are in pickleball are just tremendous. The pickleball community is one of a kind, really is.
And I think that's what attributes to the growth of the sport is, you can find the nicest people on a pickleball court. And it's something that, because I think of the ease of learning the game, so many people are attracted to it, which means that you have the opportunity to meet more great people and put them in your circle of friends. So I share that same passion with you. What makes your machine different from the competition?
Well, first of all, when you see, for instance, Simon X, my latest machine, next to a Tudor or a Lobster. The Tudor or Lobster have their place, but you can just see the build. The build quality is totally different. Their machines are plastic, doesn't make them bad. They're good machines. My machines we use heavy duty aluminum and steel. They're a little bit heavier, but they're designed to last forever. I have a lifetime guarantee on the two most important parts of a pickleball machine, which are those two pitch throw wheels where the ball goes in between, it's squeezed, and then it shoots out of the front onto the court. I have a lifetime warranty on those, and 8 years of having my machines out there, I haven't had to replace one. So that gives me a really advantage over everybody else, because I know my competitors, sometimes have problems with their pitch wheels. I do not.
What have been the reviews then from your buyers? Because you mentioned that
Everybody loves it. I mean, I've had, interestingly enough, Simon, my favorite reviews have come from guys, ex-military guys. A couple guys that bought the machine that were in the Marines. And, the last guy from Texas said, oh my gosh, this really is military grade built. And, since it's a true custom built machine, we have very few problems with it. But let's say 8 years down the road, if you have to work on it, it's very easy to take apart and change parts, a motor or whatever. So that's an advantage of a metal machine too that's custom built. You do have the ease of working on it. And the machine itself is relatively simple. It's not rocket science. You don't need to have a degree to figure out how to work the controls. And I didn't want to do too much with electronics because there's a lot of failure there. The super ramp to adjust for dinks. I wanted to go mechanical. I tried all kinds of things. We tried internal elevation. It wasn't consistent. So we needed to kind of go, old school, kind of just basically use a mechanical device. And it works really well. I'd say the military grade build of my machines really kind of separates me from everybody else. I remember the first time I conversed with you. I was actually down in Louisville playing in the Kentucky State Senior tournament, to try to qualify for the Nationals. I was just getting ready to go on the court, and you called, and I was like, wait a minute. Here's a guy by the name of Simeon, or he goes by Simon, and he's calling to order a Simon Pickleball Machine. I said, this is divine intervention. This is not just coincidence. So I thought that was really cool. And I told my fiance at the time, I told her about it, and she just smiled. But anyway, so you ended up buying a machine, and I was just kind of wondering what your impressions of my Simon X are.
I can tell you, I love that machine. And the reason, what I love about it is and I remember that conversation because when I called you, I was saying, I'm going to need to travel with this. Do I go with the Simon 2 or do I go with the Simon X? And you said the first word out of your mouth was Simon X. And I said, why? And you were just talking about, number one, the build of it. And then that stealth oscillation feature is by far one of the best teaching tools you could ever get out of a machine. And I can tell you, I have a tennis background too. So I have a Lobster Grand Elite that I bought when I was playing tennis. And when it would turn to do the drills, you would see it move. So it would move side to side. And so I knew where the ball was going to go. What I love about the stealth oscillation machine, you mentioned the people that will bang the ball now. You only have a split second to react to where that ball is going to go. And what I love about the functionality of the Simon X is that you can get the speed up to where you want it. And then if you combine it with the stealth oscillation, it's as close to replicating a stroke from somebody who will hit the ball very hard at you and not knowing where it's going to go. So in fact, my video series that we're going to put out with the machine is Simon on the road, and just doing these sparring sessions from Pickleball Sensei where I'm going up against the machine. And I've used it. I love it. And it is military grade. So you're right. This thing is heavy. You just have to figure out how to be able to lift it in and out. But if you are able to figure out a way to lift it out, your instructions are very good about saying, at least have two people try to lift it out for you if possible. So you're very good at covering all the bases. I loved how the machine was packaged when it came out. It looked like you took great care in making sure that nothing would damage that machine. Yours was really well packaged. And then once you put it together, you roll it on the court, you turn it on, and you can play. That's what I loved about it. It's just there's a simple mechanism from there. And then when I bring it out to the court, people will see it and they're like, yeah, that is military grade. And so it is an impressive thing to see on the court. But I have seen my game improve, and especially from the dink functionality of it. And the reason why is, I teach out here in Florida too. And what I've noticed is when you try to teach dinks to people, they have to hit it back to you, or they try to hit it back to you. What I love about the dinking with a Simon X is I don't have to hit it back to Simon because another ball is going to come out. But unless your instructor is going to keep feeding you a ball, what you'll find is that you learn how to hit to the person instead of away from the person. Mm-hmm. And what Simon X has taught me to do is hit away from people on my dinks and just hit away in general from people so that you don't have to try to keep the ball in play. So I think it's a great machine. So I appreciate all of your advice as we went into it. And I think what I love about this is I've how often are you able to get the inventor or the CEO of the company on a meeting like this just to talk about the machine? That to me shows that you care about the purchase. And I think that's an even better, just an even better way to show why this differentiates you from the competition.
Yeah, I love being available. And a lot of my reviews mention that, hey, it's great that I can reach somebody and they're there.
There's a lot of pride in that machine because the one thing that, is really funny is if you tell your spouse that you're going to buy a pickleball machine, they just kind of roll their eyes because they wonder how long you're going to actually use it before it just sits in the garage. And, but I take that thing with me everywhere, and it's an amazing machine. It's really well made. And, I just, I'm really happy with the purchase of it. And
Thank you.
I think being able to, if people are in the same situation that I'm, that they're looking for the machine, and this is something that I think over the long term will be able to help them improve their game, but I haven't had any functionality issues with it, and I've used it a few times, and you'll be seeing, like I said, a slew of videos coming out of just me with these sparring sessions for Pickleball Sensei.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Hey, Mike, thanks for being on with us and taking your time to tell us why the Simon machines are amazing. And I agree with you. They're awesome. So thank you.
It's a pleasure. And I feel blessed to call you my friend. I know we're going to be good friends. Thanks, Simon.